Test, test.
Welcome everybody in here to Fifth Third Arena on a Sunday night as the Cincinnati Bearcats basketball team is back home and ready for some action against the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers. My name is Justin Dedrick, joined alongside me Casey Stevens, and this is presented by Bearcat Sports Radio. Casey, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Justin. Wow, it's a little bit of a light crowd here in Fifth Third on a Sunday night. A lot of the students have some homework to finish up, but Cincinnati faithful still showing up for an out-of-conference game where the Cincinnati Bearcats standing at 3-0. They want to continue just with a little bit of a tough matchup and a team that made the NCAA tournament last year in the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers. And I mean, Cincinnati, only one returning starter from last year in Dedrick Thomas. What can the Bearcats do with new chemistry that's being built between this whole new team? And even on the other side, you have a lot of transfers coming in as well for the Mountaineers. So it's going to be a matchup of just new chemistry being built in the South Conference game, and one team that's 1-2 struggled against a Big 12 opponent in West Virginia, losing that game by almost 20, in Cincinnati playing Dayton, coming off of a close win where they didn't shoot the best, but they still came out on top.
Yeah, Mount St. Mary's, like you mentioned, struggled against West Virginia, their only Big 12 opponent, so they get another opportunity here at Cincinnati to take another Big 12 opponent. For the Bearcats, though, they are coming into this 3-0. It's another good start for them. They've had a theme of starting well in non-conference play and then almost crumbling when they get to conference play. Bearcats fans are hoping this year does not follow that theme. They won the game against Dayton. They were able to come away with that one 74-62. I was on the call for that one, Casey. It was a little bit back and forth. They gave me a little bit of a scare, but they did pull away with the win. Anything that you took away from that game?
Yeah, I was working that game as well, and what I saw was the free throw shooting. Cincinnati struggles early in the season every year when it comes to free throw shooting. Most promising player overall, Dedrick Thomas. He went 10 for 10 from the line, collected 20 points in that game. Kirk Rissa, the transfer as well, had 8 dimes with 9 points. The three-point shooting was immaculate too. Cincinnati played amazing from behind the arc. Defensively, there were some struggles, allowing some easy, wide-open buckets in the paint, but only allowing Dayton to hit three-pointers overall in that game, making them shoot over 25. So the defense behind the arc has been stellar. Inside, you're looking more at Chom, who's a transfer as well from FAU. What can he do with Baba Miller as well?
Cincinnati, of course, having a stifling defense so far on the year. However, they have struggled with ball security, Casey. They have not been able to hold on to the basketball, and they're averaging 18 turnovers a game, which is an unacceptable rate.
And especially if you're a team that has playmakers, right? You have Day Thomas, Kirk Krissa, you're looking even at Kayshawn Tillery, just a freshman, and you have these big body guys, Baba Miller, Mustafa Cham. They want to get the ball to your post players, your 7-footers, get them down low, and when you have players on other teams who are able to read that and get their hands in the passing lane and just tip it out, you're getting deflections for one on defense for the opposing teams, and then that ultimately turns into steals and then just miscommunication. So if you're Wes Miller for the Cincinnati Bearcats, you focus more on that in practice. You're saying, all right, we need to run some different plays, make the right pass, don't go for anything flashy. Get into the right area, get your right shot, and get into the basket.
They have had a little bit of a struggle on offense due to those turnovers, but hopefully tonight gives them an opportunity to find a rhythm like you mentioned. This is still a highly regarded Cincinnati team. They come in at 39th on the KenPom rankings, top 40 in the country, which is a good place to be 3 games in. You know, you'd hope to be a little bit higher, but they haven't really had a ton of competition yet. It's really just been that Dayton game as their only true test. So they're continuing to kind of coast through, get through their schedule. However, on Friday night in downtown Cincinnati, they do get a really true test against a very good Louisville team. That
Louisville team is scary. One of the top teams in the entire nation. Cincinnati, you mentioned, top 40 team in the nation. Do they really deserve that spot? It's going to come down to them against Louisville. They're facing a team that's primarily, they just beat Kentucky, a team that's consistently always in the NCAA tournament, one of those top 15 teams overall. And if you're Cincinnati, you want to prove yourself. You need some big dominant wins. You played Western Carolina your first game of the season, winning that game by 30. Then you played Georgia State, a team that's pretty competitive, only winning that game by 10. And then again, you play Dayton, a team just 45 minutes up the road. You only win that game by 12. And overall for Cincinnati, you have some star players. You have multiple top talent players as well on this team. Sincere Harris, just a transfer from West Virginia, that all defensive team in the Big 12. And you have multiple players that can contribute. But is this team as good as people think they are, or are they going to continue to struggle like they did last year?
Now, I have said multiple times that it could be a case of the early season struggles, especially when you have a lot of new players in. There are only 3 returners on this team, and 2 returners who played, and 1 returner who actually played significant minutes in Day Thomas. So you're bringing in a lot of new players, a couple big recruits. Of course, the 5-star Sean Abayev, he's been starting for the team, and he's been on a really good start to his freshman campaign. But a lot of transfers as well, and it takes time for these players to really gel together, buy into Wes Miller's system, and build that chemistry. So it could be a case of just needing to have these guys out there on the floor, get some minutes out there together, figure out how they play with each other, and then they might really gel and become the team we think they can be. Or it could be the flip side, as we've talked about potentially as well, grumbling when they hit conference play, which nobody wants to see, but it could be another possibility.
It definitely could be, and you mentioned Sean Abayev. He's top 30 prospect coming out of high school, and a McDonald's All-American. Cincinnati's second highest recruit since Lance Stevenson, and that's just excitement to see as well. Overall, last game, 14 points. He started off the game high. He had that 3-point and one first play of the game, and then since then he went a little quiet, came back, and was an electric spark off kind of switching spots from offense and then defense with Tyler McKinley, where McKinley also just a redshirt freshman, or excuse me, just a freshman as well, 64th nationally. And those two will switch spots. You'll see McKinley more used on defense, Abayev more used on offense, and it's just because he can score, get to the basket and get those easy buckets.
We'll see who steps up for the Bearcats tonight. Your starting 5s for Mount St. Mary's: Mason So, Xavier Lipscomb, Trey DeVoe, Justin Amati, and Luke McElden. Lacking in size compared to the Bearcats as they're starting Day Thomas, Sean Abayev, Kirk Krisa, Baba Miller, and Mustafa Cham for the 4th straight game. Miller at 6'11", Cham at 7'2". The tallest in that starting lineup, to my knowledge, is the 6'10" Luke McElden. So you have a little bit of a size discrepancy. Hopefully the Bearcats can maybe turn that to an advantage tonight.
They definitely want to, and if you want to get the ball to Baba Miller, he stands at 6'11", but he leads the team in points, rebounds, and field goal percentage overall. Last game against Dayton, he entered that game top 15 overall in field goal percentage. He's shooting well above where anyone else on the team is, 70% overall. And even then, he's able to knock down three-pointers if you need him to.
Cincinnati in the all-whites, Mount St. Mary's in the blue and gold. A very nice-looking uniform matchup. Just about to get ready for tip-off here. Wes Miller donning the maroon suit, looking very dapper. Student section, the ones that did make the trek out to Fifth Third Arena, starting to get pumped up for this Sunday night game. Of course, the school week starts tomorrow, so maybe sacrificing a little bit of a sleep to come out here and support their Bearcats. Still waiting to get this one underway. It'll be Baba Miller and Luke McElden for the tip. Ball goes up, Miller taps it back to Creasa, and we will get things started here in Fifth Third. Kerr Creasa has it, guarded by Mason So. Gives up top Abayev, he'll take the screen, work to his left. Abayev goes up off the glass, he can't get it to fall, tipped into the hands of Lipscomb.
For Abayev, you want to get him active early, get him the ball in his hands. He's very good if he gets a good open shot.
Lipscomb down low, he'll kick the Mason So in the corner, and he stepped out of bounds. Need to be a little bit more aware of where you're standing in the corner.
And defensively, turnovers, you mentioned it in our pregame slightly. If Cincinnati can have the turnover ratio more on their side and force the other team to get in those sticky situations, use that outside sideline as an extra defender, you can force the other team in a sticky situation.
Miller down low to Chom, he misses the short hook. Rebound, Mount St. Mary's, Mason So will bring it up. Take the screen on his left from McElden. He'll drive baseline, kick McElden. Thought about the three, now he'll take it inside. Bails out to Lipscomb. Dump off pass, McElden. Two dribbles working on Chom. He can't get the shot to fall. Rebound, Baba Miller.
Shooting for both teams just has not been there to start this game. And 18:52 to go. Neither team has knocked down a shot.
Chom kick out to Creasa for three. He's off the mark. Rebound, Xavier Lipscomb. Creasa had an open look, just couldn't get it to fall. Lipscomb is swinging around. Amadi up top. He has a mismatch on Thomas. Pass to Lipscomb is tipped out of bounds. Baba Miller got in the passing lane.
Good tip by Miller overall. He's so lengthy, too. We mentioned he stands at 6'11". Just that wingspan is so wide. If he can get his hand just a little more on the ball, that would be a steal and a fast break opportunity for the Bearcats.
The inbounds pass is tipped and stolen by Abayev. Up court to Thomas. He loses it out of bounds, and it will stay with the Bearcats. Thomas wanted a foul.
I mean, a great steal by Abayev overall, and then just Dede Thomas wanted the foul, was going for almost a jelly layup. We're trying to switch in sides, but great block overall for the Mountaineers.
Creasa inbounds it high to Baba Miller, and there's an off-ball foul. That'll go on Justin Amadi. Amadi, the senior from Greenville, South Carolina. One of their bigger players in the lineup at 6'7". Another chance to inbound for the Bearcats. Creasa gets it high up top to Miller once again. Now Chom at the free throw line. He'll kick out to Creasa, swinging around Dede Thomas. Thomas working around the perimeter. He gets inside on the elbow, kick to Miller on the wing. Miller tried to get it down low to Chom, and it's off the foot of Xavier Lipscomb. Cincinnati will have a third baseline inbound.
And for Cincinnati, I'm noticing some of their players are just staying behind the arc, not trying to work inside. No one's cutting. We're seeing Dede Thomas be the main facilitator overall, and then you have Kerr as well work his magic too. 8 assists for him against Dayton. So if both of Tate.
Thomas, a deep three. He connects to get the scoring started. Dede Thomas staying on his hot streak from last game against Dayton.
Thomas, he gets the first shot in, an electric crowd too for Cincinnati in Fifth Third.
Mason So cross court to DeVoe. He misses the three. Kerr Creasa with the board. Pushing the pace. Miller up court already. He has it knocked away. Whistle blows, and there will be a foul. It will stay with the Bearcats. They'll catch, I believe, Justin Amadi again, so his second personal already, and we're not even 3 minutes into the game.
First 3 minutes going by. We've only seen one shot go in, too, for Cincinnati. Shooting struggles continuing from the past few games of them just finding a rhythm, too. You need to get that rhythm early, and for Thomas, three-point shooting has not been an issue for him to start this season at all.
Creesa, the baseline inbounder, once again, going high for Miller out on the perimeter. Miller kicks to Creesa for a corner three. Just rattles out. Mason So flies in for the rebound, and he's fouled by Miller.
They're going to get Baba Miller for the over-the-back foul. Both of them, Mason So, not the tallest guy, stands at 6'2", and right behind him, he had the 6'11" Baba Miller fighting for that rebound.
Cincinnati putting on a light press. Now they'll back off and let Mount St. Mary's set up their possession. It's Mason So, guarded by Creesa. Working his way up top, takes a screen to his left. He's going to drive, pull up, short J, just bounces in for him. Mason So gets the Mountaineers on the board.
The UNCG transfer, just a sophomore, showing off what he can do.
Chom rises up for a short jumper, and he uses his height advantage to get the bucket over Luke McElden. 5-2, 17 left to play. DeVoe getting into the paint. He is sent back by Chom. Comes up with it, kicks back out the Lipscomb, who drains the three. It's all tied up at 5.
Chom getting that block, 88 blocks last year, one of the top blockers in the Big 12.
Creesa in down low to Chom, and he's fouled going up for the lay. They'll catch Mason So, the shorter guard, for that one. And Chom will have 2 chances at the free throw line.
Not the most consistent free throw shooter overall, 44% entering today. And it's good that you're getting fouls early in the game and going to the line. These are free points. It's a tied game, 5-5 with 16:54 to go. And free throw shooting has just been the biggest struggle for Cincinnati in these past 3 games, and they started a slump every season.
First free throws of the night for either team. Chom is able to sink his first one. The UCF transfer, very familiar with the Big 12 Conference. He played the Bearcats twice last season as a member of the Knights, and now transferring over to be a part of Wes Miller's program. He's been a good addition and the starting center of the future for them. He makes both free throws, puts the Bearcats lead back up to 2. Sincere Harris checking in for the game. He was dealing with some nagging injuries from the last 2 matchups, but he will check in and Abayev will take a rest. Cincinnati now putting on a full zone press between Thomas and Harris. The Mountaineers are able to break that and get it across half court. Working inside, almost blocked off the backboard. That was Orlandis Keys. McElden came back up with it. Keys kicks it, swinging around. McElden on the block, working on Thomas. He can't get it to fall. Mount St. Mary's just not able to get a clean shot off on that possession.
Great defense by Day Thomas. He stands at 6'1", getting back down by Luke McElden, who's 6'10", almost twice the size of Day Thomas. And defensively, Day Thomas stood strong, used his hips, and tried to fight him away. And eagerly, a quick shot by McElden led into just off the backboard miss, and Cincinnati still holding on to the lead, but a back-and-forth matchup early in just the first 4 minutes of the game.
Cincinnati in the lead, 7-5, 16:31 to play. We'll take a short break here on Bearcat Sports Radio and return in just a few. Back here after the break, and there was a review during that break to see who had last touched the ball out of bounds. It will be Mount St. Mary's basketball. Xavier Lipscomb set to inbound. And an interesting setup here as all 4 Mount St. Mary's players line up on the half-court line and then get into their position. Orlandis Keys has it, guarded by Creesa. He'll take a step-back 3, and he drains it over Kerr Creesa. Ooh, nasty from Keys. Thomas trying to answer now as his Bearcats are down 8-7. He's in the corner. Swing it down low, Miller working on DeVoe. 2 dribbles, spinning in the paint off the glass. He can't get it to fall, and a foul is called. That'll go on Trey DeVoe.
You need to get Bob Miller hot. That first half against Dayton went scoreless, and then he had a few points in the second half, but he started off the first 2 games amazing. Led the team in scoring as well, and overall 16 points entering today is what he's averaging. 22 earlier in the season as well, and it goes to show, like, hey, get him the ball, let's get him hot, get him a few shots up, go on the glass. If you can take it as early as you can.
Baba Miller, 2 shots at the line. His first is up and off the front side of the rim. Miller coming into this one at only a 55% free throw shooter, again an area where this Bearcats team has continued to struggle. He is the team's leading scorer, however, averaging 16.7 on this young season. Miller's second is up, and he sinks that one. Ties it up at 8 here with 16 to play. Arlandis Keys and Rosakias breaking the press. Keys is guarded by Sincere Harris, one of the toughest defenders on the Cincinnati squad. Takes the screen, hits the rolling McElden, who gets the and one. Luke McElden ate the contact, the sweet touch off the glass, and he will have another shot at the line. McElden will make it 10-8 before his free throw, and that does send us to our first media timeout of the game. Cincinnati trailing 8-10 early in this one. We'll be back after another break here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Back after the break, Cincinnati trailing Mount St. Mary's 8-10. Luke McElden is at the line to try to finish off his 3-point play. McElden, 55% free throw shooter on the season. He is the team leader in points per game at 11.7. The former Santa Clara player transferring over to Mount St. Mary's, and he connects on the free throw to finish off his and one. Cincinnati pushing the pace. Thomas hands off to Creasa. Creasa going to the right. Thomas in the corner, swings down low. Miller, pump fake, one dribble off the glass, and Miller gets it in.
That's what you need to do. Feed down low, especially if you have the size advantage for Cincinnati.
11-10. Mount St. Mary's still in the lead. Arlandis Keys guarded by Sincere Harris. Keys still holding it. Tough screen by McElden. Now he's facing the double. Keys, step backs in the corner, almost out of bounds. McElden dribbled it off his foot, and that one rolls out of bounds. Cincinnati basketball.
Another turnover for the Mountaineers, too, and that just continues to pile up in this game. A third turnover for the Mountaineers to 0 that Cincinnati has. Better turnout than what they did against Dayton a few nights ago.
Cincinnati taking care of the ball much better. Sincere Harris has it on the wing. Gives off to a cutting Creasa. He'll put up a three. Off the back iron, no good. Lipscomb flies in for the board. Lipscomb gives it off to Keys, guarded by Thomas up top. Keys faces the double, kicks DeVoe, top of the key three. Can't get it to fall. Sincere Harris with the board. Harris on the fast break, throws it up for McKinley. He's able to come down with it, takes a dribble, spins inside, and he shuffled his feet.
Just a few extra steps from McKinley off of the rebound, and he's getting excited. He's a young player, too, and when you get the chance to at least put up a bucket, you get caught up in your head. I need to score as quickly as I can, especially if Cincinnati's down 10-11 with 14:32 to go just in the first half. They make a few substitutions as well.
Miller and Creasa will take a rest. Keyshawn Tillery, the young freshman, and Jalen Celestine, the veteran transfer from Baylor, will check in. Arlandis Keys trying to break the press, and he way overthrows a pass into the Cincinnati bench. Rosakis runs into the bench. Well over his head. No chance at that one. Cincinnati will take possession.
Noticing, too, just defensively, that full court press that Cincinnati changed to for that zone has forced a lot more slip-ups for the Mountaineers.
Tillery, guarded by Keys. Gives off to Thomas, now Sincere Harris. Back to Thomas, fakes the three, takes a screen, step back, thought about the three. Continuing to throw it around the perimeter. Thomas loses his footing as he slips. Took a hard fall to the ground. They will call a foul on Mount St. Mary's on the Thomas slip. Sincere Harris inbounds from the sideline. That goes on Yakia Diop, his first. Harris in the corner, fakes, gets inside, puts up the short runner, off the mark, rebound Lipscomb. Still 11-10, Mount St. Mary's in the lead. Lipscomb gets McKinley in the air, the perfect fake, and he gets it in.
This Mount St. Mary's team is showing the Bearcats that they're a team that you do not want to mess with. Has held on to the lead now for about 2 minutes.
Tillery, drive and kick. They swing it around. Thomas on the wing. Oh, the moves and the step back three. He parries it. Day Thomas ties things up at 13. What a nasty move.
Oh my goodness, Day Thomas showing off what he can do. Ties this one off. The in and out crossover behind the back, step back three, and it's good. Day Thomas continues that behind the arc streak, 2 for 2 in tonight.
It's all tied up at 13 to play as well. KC, the Bearcats offense has not been in a rhythm so far. What have you noticed out there that's contributing to only 13 points in 7 minutes?
I mean, we have to mention Day Thomas. Started off the game hot, had that 1-3, and then just hit that nasty 3 again, and he's been the production overall. He's sharing the ball too, has an assist. He's either scored or assisted 8 out of 13 points for Cincinnati.
Bearcats will need someone else to step up other than Thomas. He's the only Bearcat on the floor with any points. Cincinnati still in that light zone press. Keys and Mason So, who's back into the game for the Mountaineers, able to break it. Keys driving inside on Tillery. Diop lost it on the pass. Keys came back up with it. Arlandis Keys almost lost his footing. His pass to So is picked off by Thomas. Thomas on the break. He lost it, threw it out of bounds, and it will be Mount St. Mary's basketball. Great defensive play by Keys to get back and stop the break.
A fast break opportunity for Day Thomas. He takes it on that far side, goes for the bump, and then while he's in midair, Keys just gets his hand, punches the ball out, and it goes off of Thomas to force another turnover.
Shanabayev is back into the game for the Bearcats, as well as Halvin Zella making his first appearance. Mason So and Xavier Lipscomb, the two guards for Mount St. Mary's, to try to break this press. Oh, almost picked off by Tillery, dangerous. Rosakis rises up for three, off the mark. Rebound, Trey DeVoe, he was the only one in there. Now it's on the ground, a wrestle for it. Halvin Zella is at the bottom of the pile with the basketball. Possession arrow does point towards Mount St. Mary's, so we'll stay on the far side of the floor.
It's interesting that Zella's in the game overall. He doesn't get much action, appearing in 4 games last year. 15 minutes played against DePaul was his most that he played. Getting a bit of action just with an out-of-conference game scheduled for the Bearcats.
Baseline inbound gets into Mason So. He's in the corner, guarded by Harris. Drives baseline, kicks down low. Diop off the glass, and he gets it to fall. No one down there to inbound the ball for the Bearcats. Sincere Harris has the long walk and eventually gets it into Keyshawn Tillery. Now they can finally start their possession. Tillery takes the screen from Halvin, kicks to Celestine for a deep three, off the mark. Fight for the board. Celestine came up with it, but they'll call a foul on the Bearcats.
And Justin, the biggest thing that I notice is just the energy that's coming off of Mountaineers' bench. Every time a possession goes their way, their entire bench is almost walking out on the court, cheering on their players, saying, hey, let's keep it up. We've held on to a lead, 2-point lead for about 8 minutes in the game so far in the first half. It's 12 minutes left.
Lipscomb getting inside on Tillery, and he finishes over Keyshawn Tillery. It's a 4-point Mountaineer lead. Cincinnati needs some form of offense. It's gone completely cold. Celestine on the wing. He'll drive baseline, kick the other side. Tillery, he'll put up a three, and he gets it to fall. A much-needed bucket for the Bearcats. Comes from Keyshawn Tillery, the young freshman. Lipscomb on the 5th-3rd logo, guarded by Shanabayev. Fakes, gives to So in the corner. Tough screen by Diop, and he knocks Harris to the ground and is called for the foul. A little bit too physical on that one. That does bring us to immediate timeout here. Cincinnati trailing 16-17. Mount St. Mary's, they've been on a hot streak with 11:24 to go. We'll return after a short break on Bearcat Sports Radio. back after the timeout. Cincinnati trailing 16-17 to Mount St. Mary's. Not the way that Cincinnati fans or coaching staff thought this game would go 8 minutes in. Justin Dedrick joined alongside Casey Stevens as the Bearcats offense needs to get something going. Keyshawn Tillery on the wing, takes the screen from Zella. Tillery hit that three last possession. He'll rise up. Short jumper is good. Tillery providing some much needed offensive production. And he is called for the foul on the other end, just a little bit too aggressive with Mason So.
And for Tillery and Thomas, those have been the two guys who've scored the most for the Bearcats. Offense production has almost been silent. And for some of your young guys and one of your veterans to be your sole scorers in this game, you're looking for Tillery to possibly have a career night.
Mick Eldon gives to Mason So, guarded by Tillery, working baseline. So gives it off to Amadi. Back up, beyond the arc. Lipscomb, he'll take a three. He buries it. Xavier Lipscomb. Second three of the night, he has 10 points. Keyshawn Tillery thought about the jumper, kicks out to Abayev, gives it back to Tillery. Tillery, driving kick, almost stolen. Celestine comes up with it. Oh, shakes his defender and airballs the shot. Does go out of bounds, last touch by Mount St. Mary's. So baseline inbound for Keyshawn Tillery and the Bearcats.
What I'm noticing, Justin, is this is more of your younger lineup that's out there. Baba Miller, you have Abayev as well, Tillery, and now you're putting him Chom, so sophomore, freshman, and then you have Baba Miller as senior. And then also, overall, Cincinnati's just having a lot of young guys out there. They haven't been put in a situation where they need to score points as quickly as they need to.
10 to play, Sean Abayev, he'll rise up for a deep three. Off the mark, rebound Lipscomb. Gives it up court to Mason So. Fakes the screen from Mick Eldon. Now he'll kick back to him. Thought about the three. Instead, he bails to Lipscomb. Guarded by Celestine, top of the key. Hands off. High elbow to Mick Eldon. Driving to the corner. Gives to Rosakis. Lost the ball on the shot attempt. Threw up an air ball. Quickly on the other end, Sean Abayev hasn't had his first points of the night, and he is fouled on his way to the lane. So Sean Abayev starting 0 for 2. He will have a chance to redeem himself at the free throw line.
That's what he needs to consistently do. He's a big body, stands at 6'8", is shifty when he gets down in the paint. Work your magic. That's your bread and butter. Take him down low and try and draw the foul and go to the line.
Sean Abayev, the big 5-star recruit for this Cincinnati program. Can't knock down his first free throw. Came into this one shooting 66% from the charity stripe. Few substitutions for Cincinnati. Kirk Creesa and Dede Thomas both back into the ball game. For Mount St. Mary's, Thomas Haw is in. Abayev sinks his second free throw, cuts this down to a 1-point lead for Mount St. Mary's, 20-19. 9:30 left to play in the first half. Arlandis Keys, who checked back into the game for Mount St. Mary's, working on Thomas, kicks back out. Lipscomb, another three, and he buries it. Xavier Lipscomb, his third three of the half.
Wow. Pretty much silencing the Cincinnati crowd here with a 4-point lead for the visiting Mountaineers.
Creesa has it up top, takes the screen from Chom, working inside the arc. Kicks out, Abayev a deep three. Off the mark, Miller soars in for the putback slam. Baba Miller showing off his elite athleticism. Cincinnati only trailing by 2. Arlandis Keys facing heavy pressure by Creesa. Step back three. Front rim no good. Rebound to Baba Miller. Thomas pushing the pace. Abayev, one more swing to Creesa in the corner. Now down low, Mustafa Cham. One dribble, kick out. Creesa over to Abayev. He'll take the three. Can't get it to fall. Abayev just doesn't have the shooting stroke right now.
He's not setting his feet and just going for the first shot that he sees. If he takes a slow down a little bit, he'll get the right shot.
Lipscomb in the corner. He's had the hot hand from beyond the arc. Cross-court pass. Keys puts up a three. He knocks it down. Arlandis Keys, as Mount St. Mary's is now shooting 56% from beyond the arc with a 5-point lead over Cincinnati.
5 3-pointers made in the first half. They're dominating behind the arc.
Miller trying to get inside. He lost the ball. Thomas Hall came up with it and then threw it out of bounds. A little bit of a miscommunication between him and Xavier Lipscomb on the break. That will bring us to immediate timeout. 7:49 left to play in the first half. Cincinnati trailing 21-26. We'll take a short break here on Bearcat Sports Radio and return in just a few. Coming back out of the timeout, Cincinnati trailing Mount St. Mary's 21-26. The second-ranked defense in the country based off of defensive efficiency. They've done their job. Mount St. Mary's has had a little bit of trouble scoring at times, or at least getting clean shots off, although they are shooting it at a high percentage. It's been the Cincinnati offense that has not gotten going today. And it hasn't been the turnovers like we expected, Casey. They just haven't been able to connect on any shots.
They're in a bit of a shooting slump in the past few games, so they need to find a rhythm and get something going.
Kirk Creesa up top, 8 on the shot clock, and he throws it out of bounds towards the booth. Almost hits our good friend Chase Yance, who's over on ESPN Plus tonight representing
Bearcats alum.
A turnover for Cincinnati. Mason So with 7 minutes and 30 left to play in the first half. Now handoff to Arlandis Keys. Keys in the paint. Throws it up off the glass, falling to the ground. He can't get it to fall. Baba Miller gets the loose ball. Pushing the pace. Abayev will take a quick three. Oh, back rim, no good. Offensive board, Mustafa Cham. Hands off to Creesa. Kick out. Cham will let one fly. can't get it to fall. Abayev almost got the offensive board, just couldn't corral it with one hand.
Sean Abayev attempting to make up for that miss 3-0-5 from behind the arc and attempting to go for the offensive board, just couldn't get his paw on it, send it out of bounds.
Still a 5-point lead for the Mountaineers. Mason So working to his left, short jumper just bounces in off the front rim for him. Up to a 7-point lead. Baba Miller up top, guarded by Justin Amati. Swings over, Thomas in the corner, now down low, Baba Miller. Miller, couple dribbles on Amati, works his way into the paint, short runner gets it to fall, smooth from Baba Miller.
Take the height advantage and use it. Baba Miller using this size and getting an easy bucket down low.
So working quickly in the corner to Keys, he can't get it to fall. Rebound Thomas. Up to Miller on the break. Now Sean Abayev in the corner, working on Thomas Haw. Working his way inside, couple dribbles, kick out. Kriisa will put up a three. Oh, just rolls out for Kerr Kriisa.
Great find, though, by Abayev to find the wide open Kerr.
Still a 5-point lead for Mount St. Mary's as Thomas takes a hard fall on the ground. He will get called for the foul as he collided with Justin Amati. A few substitutions for the Bearcats. Sincere Harris and Keyshawn Tillery will check into the game. Abayev and Thomas will take a rest. Also in for Mount St. Mary's, Trey DeVoe, as well as the first appearance by Elijah Espinosa, the redshirt freshman from Pennsylvania. So gives off to DeVoe on the wing. He'll put up a three. He knocks it down. Trey DeVoe, cold-blooded.
3-point shooting for the Mountaineers just seems so easy. Almost every shot they put up from behind the arc goes in.
Tillery on the wing. Cham in the high post. Cross court to Kriisa, swing it back around to Tillery, and now all the way back to Cham. 12 on the shot clock. Cham has it ripped away. Tillery going for the loose ball. He comes up with it. On the other end, Miller in the corner. He drives, side steps, puts up the runner. Can't get the friendly bounce, but Cham is there to clean it up.
There it is. Use your two tall towers down low and make them work. Get those offensive boards and put it back up for those second chance points.
31-25. Mount St. Mary's still in the lead. DeVoe in the corner, working on Kriisa. Kriisa hounding him. He has to bail out to Mason So, top of the key. So on the right wing, step back three. Oh, he falls to the ground, can't get it to go. Sincere Harris with the board, pushing the pace. Harris in the paint all by himself, takes a hard fall and gets the call. Sincere Harris will have 2 shots at the line. He is still scoreless tonight.
Sincere Harris is a scary player when he's driving head down, going downhill and attempting to get the foul. He takes those hard falls, which is nothing that you want to see as a head coach either. You always want to say, all right, if you're going, don't get hurt if you want to draw the foul.
Harris, the West Virginia transfer, also played at Illinois for a short time. Able to sink his first free throw, shooting 76% on the year coming into tonight. Substitutions for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Halveen Zella back into the game. Mustafa Cham will take a rest. Harris unable to connect with his second, and a foul called on the rebound that'll go on Halveen Zella. Halveen Zella's first foul of the half, Cincinnati's 6th as a team. 4 minutes and 41 left to play. Mount St. Mary's in the lead by 5, facing the press. Keys and Lipscomb able to break it as a tandem duo. Now Keys, top of the key, guarded by Tillery, trying to get past him. Tillery, nice job sliding his feet. DeVoe gets the handoff. He drives baseline, tries to kick in the corner to Rosakis, and he is not able to corral the pass cleanly. He has to just throw it out of bounds.
Cincinnati, they've silenced Rosake most of this game. Overall, guy came in with 9.5 throughout the entire first 3 games, but he's been held scoreless in this game.
Sincere Harris, hands off to Kriisa. Kriisa, the veteran point guard, rises up for 3. front rim off the mark. Rebound to Espinosa. Under 4 minutes left in the first half. Arlandis Keys on the 5th third logo on the right wing, guarded by Sincere Harris. Behind the back move, almost lost it. Now he'll hit the rolling Espinosa for the short runner. He's off the mark. Rebound, Halvin Zella. Pushing the pace, Miller top of the key. Looking down low, he has to go to Keyshawn Tillery on the wing. Now Creasa up top, and they will reset. Creasa working to his right. No look pass, Tillery in the corner. Just can't get the three to fall. Offensive board to Sincere Harris. Back to Tillery, he finds an open lane. He smokes the layup. Offensive board to Halvin Zella, and a foul call on Mount St. Mary's after the rebound.
Tillery worked his magic on that arc, worked down low, and just, he said, smoked a wide open layup. Nothing and no one around him other than air, which caused him to miss.
Cincinnati's offense still in a slump as they trail 26-31 with 3 minutes and 14 left in the first half. We'll take a short break here on Bearcat Sports Radio and return in just a few. Back after the break, Cincinnati trailing by 5 with just 3 minutes left in the first half. Halvin Zella at the free throw line for Cincinnati as they have entered the 1-and-1 bonus. Zella has not attempted a free throw yet this season. In fact, he has not scored yet this season. That is his first points of the young year. Good start for him. 100% from the free throw line, KC. That's the best we've seen on the team.
It is, and I mean, if you got one shot, you may as well prove what you can do.
Zella from France, chance to make his second, and drops to 50% on the year. Maybe we spoke a little bit too soon.
I mean, overall, Cincinnati's struggles from the free throw line just continue as a team.
Rosake has had to catch a high pass. He'll take a corner three, and he buries it. The Florida State transfer with another three for this Mountaineers team. They are unleashing a full barrage. Tillery working click. He misses another layup off the glass. Mason So working quickly, under 3 minutes left to go. Guarded by Tillery, faces the double. Now hands off Trey DeVoe. Swings it. Xavier Lipscomb, 15 on the shot clock, guarded by Sincere Harris. Working to his right in the corner. Rosakias down low. McElden, one dribble. Back out, DeVoe, 5 on the shot clock. He needs to put something up. That three is blocked by Miller. Harris came up with the loose ball. Up to Tillery, now back to Harris. Working quickly, full head of steam into the lane. He can't get it to fall.
Missed shot after missed shot for the Bearcats, 0 of 4 in their last field goal.
Lipscomb a three, his first missed three of the night. Tillery working quickly to Kriisa. Now back to Tillery, swinging around Baba Miller. Cincinnati will elect to play a little bit slower here with under 2 minutes. Keyshawn Tillery gives it to Sincere Harris. Back to Tillery. Continuing just to work it around the perimeter. No real offensive movement for the Bearcats. Tillery drive and kick out. Miller will put up a three. Miller can't get it to go. Rosaka gets to the rebound.
Cincinnati has not knocked down a shot for about 3 minutes. Just amazing defense by the Mountaineers.
McElden on Zella in the paint, backs him down and gets the bucket. Luke McElden playing bully ball. And a timeout called by Wes Miller. He is not happy with his Bearcats team as they trail by 9 points.
I would not be happy either. You were expected to win this game. You put this game on your schedule saying, all right, let's get a little bit of confidence before we go downtown at the Republic Bank Center and play Louisville. And this is a game you're expected to win, not to lose, especially be down 9.
A minute 20 left in the half. Cincinnati's defense kind of doing the best they can, but it's tough when they're getting no help from their offense, and turnovers have not been the problem tonight. Only 4, which is a complete opposite from what we have typically seen. But KC, it's just been the shot making. They're shooting 30% from the field and 19% from 3.
You're getting good shots overall. Keyshawn Tillery has worked into the down low, has some wide open shots that he's just blown. Sean Abayev, he's taking dumb shots too, 0 of 6, most of them from behind the arc. And that slow release that he has, and when he wants to go quick, he can't transfer from not setting his feet and then going quick. And Day Thomas, when he's in the game, he's been called upon 2 for 2 from behind the arc, and we haven't seen much of him. It's been more Keyshawn Tillery.
Tillery will bring things up for the Bearcats. Just a minute 15 left in the first half. 36-27 is the Mountaineer lead. Sean Abayev working his way around, gets into the block. Short runner off the glass is too strong. Xavier Lipscomb, the board for Mount St. Mary's. Under 1 minute in the half. Lipscomb on the wing, takes a screen from McElden. Facing the double, he's blocked by Miller. Tillery working quickly on the break, throws it up to a cutting Abayev with one hand, couldn't get it to go. He got the loose ball, kick out, Tillery knocks down the three. 8 points for Keyshawn Tillery, his highest scoring game of his career.
Just the freshman, he's showing up when he needs to, knocks down the three-pointer to make this a 6-point game.
25 left in this one, about a 7-second differential between game and shot clock. Lipscomb has the Abayev matchup, waving off the screen, now faces the double. Kicks, McElden top of the key three. Right side of the rim, no good. Tillery the board, kicks it up to Abayev. 7 seconds, 5 seconds, they need to get something going. Sean Abayev, set back three, can't get it to fall. Cincinnati will end the half down 6 points. Mount St. Mary's heading to the locker room with smiles and a high energy as they lead the Bearcats 36-30 at the end of the first.
Justin, for Cincinnati, they know that this is a game that they need to win. They've struggled with these out-of-conference games. You play Western Carolina and dominate. You then play Georgia State, a little tougher competition, and make that a 10-point game. You play Dayton, 12-point win. And now you're down 6 points to the visiting Mountaineers, and they played West Virginia earlier in the season, lost by 20. Cincinnati, a Big 12 opponent as well, and if they struggle against a team that's out of conference, that made the NCAA tournament and lost to an in-conference team in West Virginia, what hopes does the Cincinnati have when it comes to conference play?
We will find out in just a few weeks as we begin conference play, but at the moment it does not look like the Bearcats are very ready for this one. Trailing by 6 at the half. We'll take a halftime break here on Bearcat Sports Radio and return with a few minutes to go, and we'll discuss the first half that we just witnessed.
Welcome back to Fifth Third Arena, home of the Cincinnati Bearcats. Casey Stevens with Justin Dedrick. Justin, 6-point deficit for the Bearcats going into halftime. The Mountaineers have been electric behind the arc. Cincinnati's shooting performance and their struggles have continued from the past 3 games into tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to mince words here, Casey. That was an abysmal half from the Bearcats. I mean, terrible, abysmal, catastrophic, all the words you can think of, tragic, every single bad word lumped into one. It was almost indescribably bad for a team that you came in with expectations of a win here. Of course, no game in college basketball is free. You're never going to assume, okay, this is a free, easy win. But this is a team that the Bearcats were heavily favored to beat, a team that they were favored to beat by a lot of points, 20 plus, and they find themselves trailing by 6 at the end of the half. They just did not have any offensive rhythm. And when I say any offensive rhythm, I mean literally any. They found a little bit of a scoring punch from Keyshawn Tillery, who had 8 points. Baba Miller with 7. Thomas had those 2 threes, but really outside of those guys, there's been no help. Kreese has been missing shots. Abayev just has not had the hot hand tonight. He hasn't been able to buy a bucket. They just need someone else to step up and get some offense. I mean, the defense has been doing as best as you can expect them to be when their offense isn't helping and taking bad shots quickly into the shot clock. It's just more offensive possessions for Mount St. Mary's and more chances for them. And they have been taking advantage of it. I mean, they've been knocking down shots from beyond the arc. They have 7 threes. I think that's probably the biggest catalyst to their lead is turning the Bearcats' bad offense into quick offense and hitting those threes.
And for Cincinnati, the offense struggles. Keyshawn Tillery wide open layup misses. We've had dumb shots overall from behind the arc for Cincinnati. And if you're Wes Miller, you're going into that halftime saying, all right, guys, be smart. They've attacked the post and it's worked. They've gone away from it, and some players want to play hero ball, get the ball in their hands and just go for a shot that they think is better than working with the team and looking for the best shot.
Yeah, they just need to, I think they need to slow it down and run a little bit more of a constructed offense. It's been a lot of iso ball, a lot of hero ball, not much movement. We mentioned that in the first half. I remember you mentioning that to me, that there's no one cutting. There was no off-ball movement, no off-ball screens. You need to manufacture some good shots if you can't get that naturally. And so we'll see if Wes Miller had any game plan changes, anything he wants to implement on the offensive side of the ball that may help the Bearcats get a couple more clean shots and some buckets.
Cincinnati needs to find something to stop Xavier Linscomb too for the Mountaineers. Finished that first half with 13 points, 5 of 6 overall with 6 rebounds in 16 minutes. Cincinnati's struggles overall. I mean, defensively, you said they've performed well. You could say they can't perform the best, but it's just been shooting. They've not been the best shooting team, and coming into tonight, it's showing that they struggled even with what you could almost consider to be an easier opponent, an out-of-conference team in the Mountaineers.
Yeah, and this is not a team that you want to struggle with your shooting. This is a team that you want to build confidence against. And so we'll see if they're able to knock down some shots here in the second.
Cincinnati will start with the ball. Kreese near their C-paw. Works with his right hand. Over to Babe, back to Kreese. Thomas, he was hot from behind the arc in the first half, moves into the paint, makes his defender miss and goes with the left hand. So comes down with the rebound and works quick. Pushes pace, Miller steps up to guard him. Shakes off, So now works onto that near side court, picks up his dribble and finds Linscomb. Works on that far side wing, finds into the corner DeVoe, and foul will be called on the Bearcats.
And when your offense is already struggling, you don't want to give Mount St. Mary's better opportunities by having these careless off-ball fouls. You need to play aggressive, but you also need to make sure you're not playing a little bit too physical as to give Mount St. Mary's extra time on the shot clock.
Mount St. Mary's will start with the ball. Go for the far pass to So. Mason So, a shifty point guard, goes down low. Block will be called, and I believe a jump ball. Fighting in there, McElden for the Mountaineers. Possession arrow for the Mountaineers. They'll stay with it down on the baseline. Lipscomb will throw it in. 13 on the shot clock for the Mountaineers. Finds the hands of DeVoe. Down low to McElden, works around Chom and gets the scoop and score to go in. Starts off hot, an 8-point lead for the Mountaineers. Abayev works into the paint, still searching for points. Puts one in with the left hand, and it's good. He matches back, and the lead's cut down to 6.
There's Sean Abayev getting a bucket to go finally. Just took it slow, took his time, and was able to set his feet for that short leg.
Down low pass blocked by Miller. Chom comes down with the rebound, finds Krisa. Works near, guarded by So, back to Chom. Abayev just scored earlier, back to Chom at the top of the wing. He takes a deep three, this one up, and So comes down with the rebound. It's the hands of Lipscomb. He passes the timeline, goes left. Back now, finds it wide open, and a great block by the Bearcats. Chom puts his paws on it and sends it away.
And Amadi tried to rise up and dunk that over the 7'2" Chom. Not really the play that you're looking for if you're Mount St. Mary's. I also don't think he ever had the jumps to get there. He might have not even hit the rim. He jumped from so far out.
I believe a foul will be called. So Amadi will go to the line for 2 shots. First one's up and no good, so the perfect 100% will now drop after the miss. Mountaineers only attempted 1 free throw in that first half, so Cincinnati's fouls limited. They were in foul trouble last game against Dayton. Amadi attempts the second one, facing the Cincinnati fan section. Second one's up, no good, 0 of 2 for the Mountaineers. Sincere Harris checked into the game. He pushes pace, go downhill with the in and out crossover and takes So to the rim for another basket.
You see Sincere Harris getting pumped up after that one. He knows that he needs to get to work if the Bearcats are going to come back and win this one.
So now works into the mid-range area, works back onto the wing. Picks up his dribble and a steal for Miller. Over to Krisa, finds Abayev. That goes out of bounds, so a turnover for the Bearcats.
Just too strong on the pass. He was trying to thread the needle between 2 Mountaineer defenders, and Abayev wasn't able to catch up to it in time.
Cincinnati, 5 turnovers on the day to the 9 for the Mountaineers. Lipscomb picks up his dribble. Sincere Harris on him like glue, finds So. So near the ball, finds down low Amadi and blocked away. Krisa picks up his dribble, finds Chom. Chom with the easy mid-range bucket brings this a 2-point game, 36-38, 17-15 to go in the second half.
Chom, such a high release for such a short jumper, but he gets it to fall smoothly, and the Bearcats are coming back.
McElden into the corner for DeVoe, and he answers back for a 3 to silence the cloud. Krisa pushes pace now for the Bearcats near the 5th-3 logo, over to Miller. Sean Abayev finds Krisa, picks up his dribble back to Chom. Abayev, 15 on the shot clock, works with his right hand near the top of the key. Step back 3 is up. Foul is called, so he'll go to the line for 3 shots off of Trey DeVoe's foul.
And again, Abayev just not able to get his threes to fall. That one won't count as a missed 3 due to the foul, but he is 0 for 5 from beyond the arc and just not getting clean looks. So he does have an opportunity to make up for it at the free throw line.
Cincinnati has struggled at the free throw line today, 60%, 6 of 10 in the first half. Abayev coming into today, a 66% free throw shooter, knocks down the first to make this a 37-41 game. And free throw shooting has been the struggle overall for the Bearcats, Justin, and it just continues to happen, shooting below a national average of right around 68% as a team.
Yeah, they just need to be more consistent with the free throws, and this isn't something that's just popped up this year, Casey. This is something we've seen from the Bearcats last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It has continued to be a problem under Wes Miller, and it has yet to be addressed.
Keys checks in after the miss from Abave. Second one was no good, and third is pure. 38-41 is the score. Mountaineers lead, 16:37 to go. So works on the near side wing. Trapped in double team, finds down low Amadi. He goes up and blocked by Chomp. Krisa picks up his dribble, finds Sincere Harris. He goes for the lob, and Abave gets the easy way. 40-41 for the Bearcats.
And Harris just so smooth with the pass, saw the cutting of Bayev, knew all I have to do is lay it up for him, and he'll do the rest.
Bayev now on defense. He's taking Lipscomb down low. He finds an open DeVoe, and he misses the floater. Rebound by the Bearcats. Sincere Harris pushes pace, goes downhill. Easy layup is good. Cincinnati regains the lead. 42-41. Sincere Harris is on a tear.
They found their rhythm by getting inside the paint and attacking that close range area.
Will the Mountaineers answer? Mason So has the ball in his hands. Works around Krisa, goes down low. Finds an open Amadi. He picks up his shot and it answers back, and the and one, so he'll go to the line for another shot. Cincinnati down one. Justin Amadi will go to the line for one shot. 42-43, 15:38 here in Fifth Third Arena. We'll be back after the short media break. Welcome back to Fifth Third Arena. Casey Stevens with Justin Dedrick. Justin, exciting first 5 minutes of action. Cincinnati down 6, fought their way back to only being down 1. 42-43, the Mountaineers come in, and now we have Justin Amadi at the line for one more shot.
Yeah, Cincinnati started to look a little bit better. They're playing at a much faster pace and attacking the paint, which has gotten them the source of their points. They just need to keep up this aggression and continue to make shots.
Amadi puts this one in for a 2-point lead for the Mountaineers. Krisa takes the ball on that far left side of the court, works right with his right hand. Finds Celestine. Harris, mid-range J's up, off the back iron, and foul will be called on the Mountaineers. So Cincinnati stays with the ball on the far side of the court. Diop comes in. Mahdi comes down and Mason So as well. Roskanaukis comes in. Harris in the corner, back to Carissa. Carissa near the 5th third logo, goes out, finds Miller, Baba Miller into the corner, finds Celesti, and it's up, no good. Zella comes down with the board, finds Harris, goes for the wing three, no good. Zella fights again for another offensive board, puts it up himself, and off the backboard blocked by the Mountaineers. Working up the court is Lipscomb.
He couldn't get the bucket, but a great effort by Zella for those offensive boards.
Lipscomb finds himself again at the top of the key. Over to DeVoe, top of the key, three is pure. Mountaineers control the lead here in 5th third.
That's DeVoe's 3rd three. He's 3 of 6.
Baba Miller works down low, goes for the hook shot, no answer. Zella comes down with his 3rd offensive rebound, but no good on the second chance opportunity. Creasa for 3 in the corner, no good, and Zella continues to fight down low. Lipscomb works up, goes down low, downhill, draws the foul, goes to the line for 2. Xavier Lipscomb has led the way, a 6-0 run for the Mountaineers. Cincinnati will make a substitution after the first shot. Day Thomas looks to check in. Lipscomb, 5-point lead, leads the team in points with 13. At the line for 2 shots. Mountaineers lead by 5. First one's up and off. Day Thomas comes in for Baba Miller. Interesting substitution for the Bearcats.
Yeah, Cincinnati playing with a little bit of a smaller lineup with Harris, Thomas, and Creasa out there, 3 guards, maybe trying to go with a little bit of a speed attack and just run with Halvey and Zella as your only big.
Second shot's up and good. 42-48, 14-16 to go. Creasa pushing pace for the Bearcats past the timeline. He works with his right hand, takes the screen from Thomas, finds Celestine. Harris, Thomas on the wing. Thomas works with his left hand, pushes away, works down low. Mid-range J is up and no good. Zella fights for the rebound but comes down into the hands of Lipscomb.
And Cincinnati is 0 of their last 8 from the field.
Started off 4 for 4 for the second half. Lipscomb goes into the corner, finds a wide open Keys. Keys picks up his dribble, goes for a cross court over to Lipscomb. Near side court, goes down low to DeVoe, backs down, Creasa, and gets the blocking charge.
And Creasa just stood there, stood his ground, wide stance, took the hit straight to the chest, and fell right over. It was a beautiful thing to watch.
Zella goes out, checking in is Chomp. Creasa, and the Bearcats down 6. 13:34 to go, 42-48. Cincinnati cut the lead to 1 after being down 6 going into halftime. Thomas finds the ball over to Creasa. Deep three's up and good! Kerr Creasa!
There's the answer from beyond the arc that the Bearcats needed. Now up to 22% from 3, but Creasa makes the most of that one.
Kerr Creasa makes it a 3-point game. Travels called. Great defense by the Bearcats.
Maybe we're seeing the momentum start to shift. Cincinnati's playing at a much faster pace. Mount St. Mary's trying to adjust, and they're making a few more mistakes than they did in that first half.
Cincinnati can keep the hot hands going. They'll have a better turnout. Only down 3, 45-48, 13:03 to go. Creasa directing traffic, takes the switch, now guarded by Keys. Far side, finds Thomas. Thomas, top of the key, back to Creasa. Celestine over to Harris in the corner, back to Celestine. He makes his man jump over to Harris in the corner. Shifty moves, mid-range J is no good. Puts this one in the air. Chomp comes down with the offensive board, taken away by Keys, and a foul will be called.
And you can see some visible frustration from Cham after that one. Keys was playing really physical with him, and Cham was kind of upset with that.
Far side inbound pass for the Bearcats. Creasa, Harris, Celestine, Cham, Thomas out there for the Bearcats. Harris works in the corner. Creasa still looking for a pass, finds Cham, top of the key to Thomas. Thomas works with his left hand, thought about the three, goes for the three-point attempted shot over Amadi and draws the foul and will go to the line for three.
And Thomas has such a lethal pump fake because he's such a prolific three-point shooter. You have to close out or you're going to give him a clean shot, and he's just able to hold on to that one, stand his ground, and absorb the contact from his defender.
Cincinnati looking to tie this one. They took the lead earlier in second half at 16 minutes. Thomas is pure with the first shot, 46-48 with 12:32 to go. Dedrick Thomas, one of the most consistent free throw shooters coming into today. It went 12 for 12 at the line against Dayton.
And all of them in the second half as well.
Dedrick Thomas looking to be a spark for the Bearcats, knocks down the second. 1 point lead for the Mountaineers. Mason So checks back in, and Xavier Lipscomb, the leading scorer for the Mountaineers, checks out. 14 points for Lipscomb tonight. Dedrick Thomas, 8. Tied as one of the top leading scorers with Keyshawn Tillery and Cham. Baba Miller looks to check in, and Dedrick Thomas misses his first free throw of the entire season. Very clutch opportunity for Mason So to extend the lead for the Mountaineers. Guarded by Sincere Harris. Works up to the top of the key to McElden, back to So. So picks up his dribble, Sincere Harris on him. Finds McElden. Eldon tries to work around Cham. The two strong men go back and forth and draws the foul. Cham's second foul will send McElden to the line for 2. 47-48 lead for the Mountaineers with 12:13 to go in the second half. Sean Abayev looks to check in with Baba Miller. First shot's up and no good. Free throw struggles, not for Cincinnati, but for the Mountaineers. They're shooting below 50%.
Yeah, and they came into this one shooting just above 60% on the year, so that has been a point of struggle for them as well.
Second shot is up and no good again. Thomas comes down with the board. Pushing pace, finds Abayev. Abayev sets his feet for the three. No good this time again. Three-pointers have not been his friend today. Mason So attempting to get the ball going and finds the hand of Keys. Keys shakes off his defender, finds McElden. McElden attempts to get this one over, but Tillery comes up with the steal, and no good, but draws the foul. He's missed 3 wide open layups, but goes to the line for 2 shots.
Yeah, and Rosakis was on him the entire way down the court. Just had that outstretched arm, and he has a much height advantage over Tillery, so it was tough to be able to get that one off, but he's able to draw the contact, so a little bit of a save.
Keyshawn Tillery will go to the line for 2 shots, but we'll take a short break here on Bearcat Sports Radio with 11:49 to go in the second half. Cincinnati down 1, 47-48. Welcome back to Fifth Third Arena, home of the Cincinnati Bearcats, where they're down 47-48 against the visiting Mountaineers. Casey Stevens or Justin Dedrick. Justin, interesting chance for the Cincinnati Bearcats to regain the lead after having it at the 16-minute mark in the second half.
Yeah, and it's been tough for them. It's been a tough road. Their offense has not been on a hot streak. Mount St. Mary's has continued to hit shots from beyond the arc, and it's made it tough for the Bearcats to come back. Like you mentioned, an opportunity at the line here for Tillery to put the Bearcats back in front.
Tillery misses the first one, so a chance to tie it if he hits this next one.
Casey, are you a believer in the announcer's jinx?
100%.
I am as well, and I believe I just caused that. My apologies.
You know, at least he hit the next one. You know,
because I apologize. I recognize my mistake.
You know, if you're able to recognize your mistake, I believe you could get forgiveness. Mason So leads the way, finds McElden. Deep three from Keys off the back iron, rebound by Thomas. Sean Abayev goes up and slams it down! Cincinnati regains the lead!
With a one-hand tomahawk, just pow, right on the table, and Abayev, who gives this place some noise.
Mountaineers tipped away by Day Thomas. Mason So checks out. Xavier Lipscomb checks in. Leads the team in scoring with 14 for the Mountaineers. And rebounds as well with 7. Has the ball at the top of the key. Tillery guards him tightly. Over to Keys. Keys takes a deep three again over Thomas. Rebounded by the Bearcats. Tillery now pushing pace. Over to Miller. Miller back to Tillery. Tillery attempts to be shifty and goes down low. Works his magic, and ball's going to be kicked off the foot of the Mountaineers.
Who, and just for a second there, he had Rosakis slipping on the back pedal, but unfortunately he lost it and wasn't able to capitalize.
Rosakis, the FSU transfer. Tonight, only 3 points, a career high of 10, where he had against Bucknell earlier. Tillery back at the line. First one spins around, and no good. 2-point lead for the Bearcats, 50-48 with 10:46 to go. Top of the key, Rosakis. Back in his hand, guarded by Abayev. Double teamed, finds down low, Amadi, takes Cham into the paint. Spins around, goes for a floater, no good. Abayev finds Thomas. Thomas pushes pace, finds a wide open. Cham off the hand, stay in bounds. Taken away by Lipscomb.
And Thomas threw that one just a little bit too far out.
Great defense by Thomas, telling Cham, hey, pick up the pace. If we don't have the numbers, I need you back on defense. Cincinnati. Abayev, Cham, Miller, Thomas, and Tillery out there on the court. Mountaineers have the ball, and Lipscomb at the top of the key. 10:08 to go in the second half. Cincinnati leads by 2. Lipscomb goes down low. I believe a charge will be called. Lipscomb with a push. Cincinnati regains the ball. Tillery now works up past the timeline. Clock now dips under, 10 minutes to play. Tillery works into Thomas, down low to Baba Miller, and he slams it in.
I mean, what a perfectly executed sequence. Thomas saw exactly where he was going to go with the ball before it even happened. Swung it down there quickly to Miller, and Miller just an easy dunk from there.
3 players away from double digits for the Bearcats. Out there on the court, 3 with 9, 2 with 8 points scored. Mountaineers answer back with an easy layup from McElden. Timeout will be called with 9:72. Mount St. Mary's down to Cincinnati leads 52-50 with 9:27 to go here in Fifth Third Arena. As the teams take a break, we as well on Bearcat Sports Radio will too. Welcome back to Fifth Third Arena, where the Cincinnati Bearcats fought back to regain a 2-point lead. Casey Stevens with Justin Dedrick. Justin, Cincinnati 52-50 with 9:27 to do. What do they need to do to really show that they deserve to be one of the top teams in the nation and in the Big 12?
Well, they have 9 minutes and 20 seconds left in the half to prove to me that this offense can find a rhythm and start clicking.
Miller has the ball with the Bearcats, goes down low, puts up an easy lay off the back iron, comes down with his rebound jump ball. Possession arrow will stay with the Bearcats. Ball Miller, Zella, Thomas, Krisa, and Abayev will be out there for the Bearcats. Krisa has the ball, goes far side. Corner three is up for Abayev. He stepped out. Be another turnover.
And it has just not been Sean Abayev's night. He's 3 for 11 from the field, 0 for 6 from beyond the arc, and that's his first turnover as well.
9 points for Abayev. 8 points for Thomas. 9 for Miller. No Bearcat in double figures yet tonight. 8:56 to go. 52-50. Mountaineers attempting to get an upset win against the Bearcats. Corner three is up for Ha. No good. Mahdi comes down with the rebound. Zella will be called for the foul. He was hooked in, which I believe may send the Mountaineers to the line for a one-on-one opportunity. Or excuse me, it will actually just be a baseline pass.
That was a dangerous play out there to leave Haw open in the corner. He just knocked down 5 threes a game ago against St. Francis.
DeVoe finds So. So goes down low to DeVoe. Great find in the corner of Lipscomb. Ha, deep three is up. No good. Abayev comes down with the rebound. He works past the Fifth Third logo near the top of the C-Paul. Picks up his dribble, goes down to Zella. Zella, 1 point today, searching for his first actual made basket. Finds Thomas. Thomas with So, gets him in the air, attempts to draw the foul, and he does, and will go to the line for 3 shots.
That's the second time Day Thomas has done that tonight. Just draw somebody in with your pump fake and then go forward into the contact and get the shots. He's so skilled at the fakes.
Reminds me a lot of SGA, just able to get your defender in the air and draw the foul. And granted, most of those that SGA does aren't real fouls in my opinion, and he still gets the defender to jump and leans in and gets it. But Day Thomas has taken a lot of notes from that and implemented it into his own game.
I would say almost more akin to a Trae Young, where you're in that smaller stature, and Trae Young, another lethal shooter, tries to just get people. And Trae Young does a little bit of conniving as well, where he backs into defenders, and they've started cracking down on that in the National Basketball Association. But Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's whistle is a little bit different, I think, in my opinion. He does get some very team-friendly calls, KC, but Thomas does it with skill, in my opinion.
Day Thomas, line knocked down the first 2. First Bearcat in double figures. He's at 10. Looks to extend it, and now he's only missed 1 free throw all year long. 5 of 6 on the day. Taking it up is Keys for the Mountaineers. They're down 5 after their biggest lead of 8. Keys has the ball in the near side wing. Picks up his dribble. Krisa guarding him tightly. Gets it back to the top of the key. Finds Lipscomb. Lipscomb works around Thomas. Uses his strong body. Goes down low to Amadi. Amadi finds DeVoe. Tries to work down low. Fade away. Shots up. No good. Thomas comes down with the rebound. He pushes pace quickly for the Bearcats. Now they're going to go slower. Finds Krisa over to Day Thomas. Day Thomas, Lipscomb guarding him slightly. Left wide open on the wing. 3's up and good. Day Thomas does it here in Fifth Third. Timeout called by Mount St. Mary's. Cincinnati 8-point lead, 58-50. 7:35 to go in the second half.
They finally found an offensive rhythm off the back of Day Thomas, the leading scorer from a game ago. He's got the run started against Dayton, and he's getting a run started now against Mount St. Mary's. What a play from Thomas.
Day Thomas tonight, 14 points. The game against Dayton, 20. Looking to be the first scorer in 20-point figures tonight for the Bearcats. Mount St. Mary's called a timeout. We'll take a timeout with them as well. 7:35 to go in the second half. 58-50. here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Welcome back to Fifth Third Arena. Casey Stevens, Justin Dedrick. Justin, 7:35 to go in the second half. Cincinnati holds on to their biggest lead of the game by 8, 58-50 over the visiting Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers. It's been a hard-fought battle to get to this 8-point lead.
Yeah, it really has. And they've started by really pushing the pace and playing smarter. They've been limiting the bad shots, and that's what's helped them get up to this 8-point lead, but now you need to hold it.
Only 7 turnovers for the Bearcats to struggle against Dayton their last game. Lipscomb and the Mountaineers have the ball at the top of the key. He goes down low, finds Amadi. Amadi goes up, no shot. What gets the travel on him, and another turnover, 14th of the game for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, and typically it's the Bearcats we see struggling with the turnovers, but they only have 7. Their defense, that second-ranked defense in a defensive efficiency, really causing troubles for Mount St. Mary's right now.
Cincinnati on a 16-2 run over the last 6 minutes, led by Day Thomas. Thomas goes down low to Miller. He works around, down in the paint, goes for the shot, and the foul is going to be called on DeVoe. Miller will go to the line for 2 shots. Miller looks to extend the lead to 10 if he can knock down these 2 free throws. Overall, Cincinnati has shot 22 and has made 14, 63% on the day. Shooting numbers have not been on their side, 19 of 55, shooting 34% from the field. And on the defensive end, they've looked stellar. Miller knocks down the first one, 7 blocks for a team that had 10 in 2 games, and really led the way by Miller and Sham, and 4 steals as well, so only their 7 turnovers. Miller knocked down his first, second one's up, and Nylon goes in, 60-50. 6:58 to go. Miller checks out. Sincere Harris checks in for the Bearcats. Keys, full court press over to Lipscomb, guarded by Harris. Big 12 all-defensive team last year. Lipscomb finds the hands of DeVoe. DeVoe now to Rozakis. Rozakis finds Keys on that left wing. Back to the top of the key for Rozakis. 9 to go on the shot clock. DeVoe works down low, 5 to go. Deep three's up from Lipscomb, and it's no good. Thomas fights for the board, but will find the hands of him, and he dives for it. Finds Creaser. Creaser now goes down low to Harris, goes up. No good. Foul will be called, and Harris goes to the line for 2 shots.
I mean, that's all an effort play by Day Thomas. I didn't expect him to dive, full dolphin dive, lunge onto the ground for that basketball. but he went head first into there to get the ball, and it's a hustle, hard play by Thomas.
Dede Thomas set up the 2-shot foul for Harris. Cincinnati looking to build on a lead of 10. Harris knocks down the first. For him, he has 6 points tonight with 4 boards. Dede Thomas, 14, 5, and 4. Leads the way in all categories other than rebounds, led by Cham with 9. Harris is not able to knock down the second one. Lipscomb come down with a rebound. 6:16 to go, an 11-point lead. Mason So has the ball, finds Lipscomb on that right wing 3, off the back iron. Rebound comes down into the hands of Amati, goes out of bounds. Cincinnati will have possession. Celestine checked into the game as well with Creasa, Thomas, Cham, and Harris out there for the Bearcats. Creasa has the ball, works with his left hand, down into the paint, back out, finds Cham, top of the key, 3 is up, and off, and no good. Into the hands of Lipscomb, leads the team in scoring with 14 for the Mountaineers. Works down low, pushes Harris off, and will be called for another foul. He's done that twice where he pushes his defender away.
Yeah, you just can't overextend with the arm or the elbow. You need to keep that in, and the referees won't see it if you just keep it tighter.
See the head coach for the Mountaineers getting his questions answered by the head referee. Creasa, Cham work the ball up the court past the C-Paul. Creasa favoring the right side, uses his right hand in between his legs. Top of the key to Harris. Harris finds a wide open Thomas. Quick 3, pump fake over to Cham. Harris now with 10 on the shot clock. Works with his left hand, goes down low. Cross court pass to Celestine. Off the back iron, ball's in the air, So comes down with the rebound. 5:20 to go, a 61-50 lead for the Bearcats. Lipscomb to So. So has the ball guarded tightly by Thomas with the deflection. Celestine not able to have the ball, finds a wide open DeVoe for a dunk. Makes it a 9-point lead for the Bearcats. Creasa works into the paint. Finds a wide open Harris. Harris back over to Celestine. Down low to Cham. Foul called on Amati. We have a reach-in foul.
Yeah, now we're reaching the point where the fouls are starting to pile up for Mount St. Mary's. They're playing over-aggressive on the defensive end, and it's allowing Cincinnati to get free opportunities at the line. And although they've only hit at a 65% rate tonight, those are still easier shots than you may get on a full defensive possession.
A 1-on-1 opportunity for Cham. Tonight the Bearcats have shot 65% from the line, 17 made. Cham's first shot's up, and it's good. 10-point lead. Keys will check in McElden. Bob Miller checking for the Bearcats. 4:50 to go, a 10-point lead, 62-52 for the Bearcats. Defense has been stellar. Just offense has not been clicking as well as what they're used to. Miller comes down with the offensive rebound, finds Dede Thomas, goes down low to Cham, works in the paint. Bob Miller cut too soon and a turnover. Just the 8th turnover by the Bearcats tonight. Mason So checks it into Lipscomb, gets the ball back into his hands, and Creasa guards him tightly. 4:37 to go in the second half. Cincinnati crawled their way back from being 8 down to now leading by 10. So in the Mountaineers. Works into the corner with his right hand, picks up his dribble. Bob Miller with the deflection and the steal. He takes it by himself, finds his trotting Cham, and he slams it down.
Bob Miller, he was patient on the break. He waited for Cham to cut down the lane, and it's just an easy bounce pass and dunk for those two.
12-point lead by the Bearcats. What does the Mountaineers have? Bob Miller with another steal, finds a walking Dede Thomas, sincere Harris, left-handed lay is good.
Again, patient on the fast break. Wait, you have the numbers. You can play it a little bit slower, and you just make the smart pass, and it's an easy basket.
66-52 lead for the Bearcats. Keys picks up his dribble. Dede Thomas all over him. Down low, another deflection and another steal. Sincere Harris pushes pace, finds Creasa, but just a little too much mustard on the pass. Timeout will be called. 3:34 to go. Cincinnati leads 66-52 here on Bearcat Sports Radio. We'll take a short break as well. Welcome back to Fifth Third Arena, where the Cincinnati Bearcats lead the visiting Mountaineers 66-52. Casey Stevens, Justin Dedrick. Justin, Cincinnati, big lead, a 14-2 run over the last 5 minutes. This is not the Cincinnati team that we saw in the first half.
No, not at all. They started playing a lot smarter with a much better pace of play, and that's really contributed to them having less mistakes, less turnovers, and cleaner shots.
5 turnovers for the Mountaineers in the past 6 minutes, 3 in just that last 90 seconds. Lipscomb finds down low, tries to work down low again, and just defense for the Bearcats has been stellar. Bob Miller comes up with the block, finds Creasa, over to Chom. Chom goes down the lane and slams it!
A good play by Chom. Again, you have a cutting 7'2" center. You're not going to be able to stop him on his way down the lane.
Screen set, works away his Keys. Mid-range floaters up, no good. Rebound by Harris. Harris pushing pace, going downhill. Uses his shiftiness to work down low. Finds a wide open Bob Miller. Over to Creasa in the corner. Three's up. No good. Rebound by Keys. Keys looks to direct traffic. Finds a wide open Rosake, and he knocks it down.
Came into this one only shooting 27% from beyond the arc, but a smooth shooting stroke on that one.
Creasa, 225, has the ball in his hand. Cincinnati has passed 70 points every game this season. 74 last game. Creasa slipped and fell, looking for the foul on Keys. Bob Miller comes in with the deflection, but still in the hands of Lipscomb. Lipscomb over into the top right wing. Air ball by DeVoe.
And I just think we've reached the point in the game where Mount St. Mary's has run out of gas. They look tired, Casey. They look thirsty. They just have run out of the energy that they had in that first half and early in the second, and they've allowed the Bearcats to really play at a higher tempo, push the pace, and just get past their defense.
Coming into the second half, all numbers above 50% shooting-wise for the Mountaineers. They've all dipped under 40. 38 from the field, 39 from three, and 38 from free throw. Dedrick Thomas trips on his own feet again with his left hand, trying to work around Winscombe, finds an open Creasa. Baba Miller comes down with the rebound. Down low in the paint, puts the right hook in, and it's good. Cincinnati reaches 70 points to make this a 15-point lead.
Yeah, and they finally found their rhythm. Baba Miller gets his third double-double on the year with that bucket as well.
Down low for the Mountaineers. Chom called for the foul off the drive of DeVoe. The 6'5 senior will go to the line for 2 shots, and Cincinnati has not allowed any opponent to cross the line of 65 yet this season.
And it doesn't look like they will either, as Mount St. Mary's would need another 10 points and 1:18 left. So it looks like that second-ranked defense is going to stay pretty highly regarded.
First shot's no good. DeVoe misses, so that free throw percentage as a team will drop. 3 of 9 from the line. Second shot's up and no good again, so shooting 30%, 3 of 10. Creasa takes the ball, 1:20 to go. Fan sections are leaving, knowing the Bearcats walk away with a win to start the season off 4-0. A minute to go. Dedrick Thomas. Backwards pass to Chom. Creasa over to Abayev. Down low to Chom. Chom goes up, no good. And a foul will be called, so he'll go to the line for 2 shots. Abayev, the All-American, 9 points. Baba Miller, 13. Chom, 13 as well. Creasa, 3, and Thomas with 14. Multiple players for the Bearcats in double figures. 70 points scored. Clock is at 54 seconds to play. The Bearcats walk away with a win, with leading by 15. Chom at the line for 2 shots. First shot's up, no good. Cincinnati, while it's not at home, it's more of a neutral site, plays Louisville. It's going to be a tough matchup, one of the top teams in the nation, beating Kentucky a few nights ago this week. And for the flip side, it's not an easier schedule overall for the Mountaineers. They play Maryland, a Big Ten team in Maryland. Second shot's no good, so comes down with it. Jump ball, and the Mountaineers regain possession.
You know, it's something funny kind of going on unrelated to the game is the band is chanting right, left for every foot that Trey DeVoe steps on because he fouled out. And he has continued to mess with the student section, going behind the tunnel so they couldn't see his feet, and then going in reverse. You can see the teammates smiling. He just stood back up to fake out the student section again.
He just continues to walk near the water, and he's just playing around with the band at this point. Mason So over to Lipscomb, back to So. Baba Miller and Dedrick Thomas. Gets another steal for Miller. Miller over to Creasa. Creasa up high to Dedrick Thomas. He slams it down! Dedrick Thomas, do it for Cincinnati!
What a play to end the game by Thomas. I mean, that is the cherry on the cake.
I did not know Dedrick Thomas had that in him. We don't see him dunk often, but when he does, it's electric.
He can get up there for sure. For being smaller stature, he has the hops, and he's had those highlight dunks before, and he has another one tonight.
Clock dips under, 3 seconds to play. Cincinnati gets a win here in Fifth Third Arena. They move on to 4-0, where they will take on Louisville, the hardest match all season long. A ranked team against the Cincinnati Bearcats. And on the other side, Mount St. Mary's will go down 1-3, where they will go on the road to play Maryland, another hard-fought team in the Big Ten. Justin, Cincinnati It was a scary sight in that first half, scoring 30 points and then erupting for 42 here in the second half.
Yeah, they really gave me a scare. I got nervous. I really thought Mount St. Mary's had the upset chance here in Fifth Third Arena, but they picked it up in the second half. They proved that their offense can catch a groove. They played smarter. They played at a faster pace and attacked the paint, Casey, which is really important. We talked pregame about using the height advantage, and in that first half, they didn't use it at all. They weren't attacking the paint. They weren't using their speed. They were just missing outside shots. But that second half, they really slowed down. Wes Miller must have talked to his team, said, hey, this is what we need to do to win. We have an advantage. Let's utilize it. Let's make the most out of it. They did, and they came away with the dub.
They needed to do that. Dedrick Thomas, 3 of 3 from behind the arc, finished with 16 points. Baba Miller, 5 of 9, finished with 13. And Sham, 5 of 9, and 3 of 6 from the line. And both of them finished with a double-double. Dedrick Thomas, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 16 points. Flip side, DeVoe fouled out. Finished with 11 points, 3 of 7 from behind the arc, and Xavier Lipscomb, 14 points, 3 of 6 from behind the arc. Cincinnati's shooting struggles on the other side, still struggling 60% from the charity stripe, 20% from behind the arc, and 37% as a team overall.
It's tough to really keep your lead when you can't hit shots, and when you just lose that gas and you lose that hot hand in the second half. Their shooting percentages, like you mentioned, just dipped so far below. They weren't able to take advantage from the free throw line in the second half either, and it really just contributed to them running out of gas. But really, when you look at Cincinnati's shooting splits, it's not much better. It was just kind of a hard-fought, gritty, who's going to really win the battle of defenses here tonight, and Cincinnati ended up winning that one.
Cincinnati limited their turnovers, only finishing with 10. Their fouls were down throughout the entire game, 13 fouls as a team collectively. The offensive rebounds and second chance points finished with 15 offensive rebounds. Led the way was Zella, a surprising star, got multiple minutes where last year his most minutes played 15 against DePaul, appeared in only 4 other games, and overall Cincinnati showed that they're a team that's not known as coming back. And tonight they did that here on Bearcast Sports Radio. For Justin Dedrick, I've been Casey Stevens, Bearcast Media. We wish you all a good night for those who are listening.